Hello, 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 my loves. Welcome to Nova Holistic podcast episode 16. I've got a really special guest with me today. His name is Daniel Jackson and he's a spirit medium. And while I'm at it, my name is Dijana and I'm going to be your host today. Hello, hello. Please join us for this fascinating conversation. I'm really looking forward to seeing what we get up to today with Daniel and what kind of themes we cover. We don't have a strict structure for this conversation, so I can't wait to see what comes up and where we go with this. So, everybody, let me introduce you and welcome my beautiful guest, Daniel Jackson.
Hello.
Hello,
Hey,
Daniel.
how are you?
I'm really well. Welcome to Nova Holistic.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Okay, so let's get straight into it.
Boom.
And um, I want to open by saying that I've enclosed some of your bio and information, your website and your email to this podcast, to the information below already. So I'm actually going to choose not to sort of recycle that again.
Good.
And I want to start this conversation with inviting you to talk to us a little bit about what is a spirit medium so that
Well,
we understand
okay.
a little bit, you know, um, maybe a little bit of your world.
Sure. Sure. I refer to myself as a spirit medium because where I get my information from is spirit. But I do not get my information from what I refer to as general spirit. Now, they do speak to me, they communicate with me all the time, they tell me things. But they don't talk about what you would think. They just talk about whatever they're doing, whatever they're feeling, whatever they are going through.
What is a general spirit? What do
General
you mean a
spirit,
general spirit?
to me, general spirit is the moms and dads, the brothers and sisters, the
Got it.
dogs and cats,
Mm-hmm.
the other beings that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
I see into that realm all the time. That is what I call earthbound, but it is just another realm because
Mm-hmm.
I do see other beings there as well all the time. Because I
Mm-hmm.
tell people, if you just think that this is the only planet with people on it, you better think again. Okay, so I see that realm. So I see everything, and I see it at all times. It never turns off. It never goes away. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
one of those mediums who can turn a switch and turn it off because I have to be open for a different reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I see that all the time, but I also see into what we would refer to as heaven. It's different than people think it is, but when I see the general spirit who are here earthbound, when I see them, I get a quick flash real fast of what they look like prior to being in spirit. And then I see them in that realm. And when I see their complexion is blue. But the rest of the background takes up the rest of the picture of them and what's around them. And what I mean by that is because there's not much light there, so there's a black background to it. And their complexion at that point is blue, but it's like a light blue. I can still see their eyes, their face, everything. It's like if you've ever seen someone with what we call a black and white tattoo, where they get the black ink put on their skin, but then the rest of
Mm-hmm.
their skin tone takes up the rest of the picture, and that's how I see them. But they are just blue in that black background. When I
Mm-hmm.
see the ones who have crossed over into the light, they look exactly like us. We they are in full color. They're just a little tiny bit transparent, but they are in full color. So that's what I mean by regular spirit. These are just regular people, regular beings.
Mm-hmm.
But who I'm in communication with is what we would refer to as archangels. Like I said, they're not men with wings. They don't have a shield and a sword. They're not fighting a battle in heaven and all that stuff. Most of them that I see do not look like people. I only know one of them that is my guide. Her name is Helen. She looks like a person, but she was a person here on Earth, and she was here over 5,000 years ago. She was an Egyptian princess. Everyone else that I see, they're not people. Most of the ones that I see, when I'm in a dark room or I have my eyes closed, they look like 8-foot praying mantises standing in my room. So that's what they are. I see them, the big bug head, bug eyes moving up and down, and their arms and tentacles, and I see that. I see others as well. I've seen some that look like what we would refer to like a lizard or an owl. I saw
Mm-hmm.
Archangel Michael. He does not look like a man shining this purple. He puts that out because they are pure energy. They put this out so it makes it easier for us to understand. But what he actually looks like is a hybrid of a horse and a moose. He has a big head. It's wide. He has these two brown eyes. He's got these big floppy ears. He doesn't have antlers, but he's got this long body with the short hair on it like a horse. They show me their truth selves to me because of something that I have going on with me that no other medium has because I'm closer to them than anyone else is. So
Have you, I mean, that's really fascinating. Have you ever asked why their true selves are more that way?
you would be scared if you saw what you saw. Because this is what we have. There are beings that come through into this realm that look like monsters, but they're not monsters. It's just that's what they look like where they come from. These
Mm-hmm.
beings look different than we do. And what happens with someone who looks different than you? Sometimes we get alerted by that in a way where it scares us. They don't want
Mm-hmm.
to scare us. So what they do is they project themselves, being pure energy, they can project themselves in a different way that is more suitable to us. That's why they will project themselves with a man or a man with wings, because that's what we've been accustomed to. That's what we've been taught that they look like. So they will show that so that we will not be scared, so we will trust them. But if you woke up in your bedroom and saw these 8-foot praying mantises standing in your room, you might be scared. Why? Because they're so big, they're so vast, and they are creature looking. They would scare you probably. But
Mm-hmm.
I know who they are. I know what they are. I know what they do for me and everyone else. That's why I'm not scared. It doesn't bother me.
Okay. So, all right. So you have this extraordinary gift, and you have this capacity to communicate, receive messages, give messages, perceive
Correct.
energy
Sure.
from beyond the veil.
Yes. And
Um,
I actually see the veil. Like in my regular vision, if I look at your walls, they're kind of whitish, beigeish looking, what you have around you. And I'm sure that's what it appears to you, but not to me. It is that color, but it is also the color blue. There's a color of blue mist within everything that I look at, even when I'm looking at you. Everything that I look at has that blue mist. That's the veil. And it doesn't turn off, it doesn't go away. I see it. Like when I go outside at nighttime, and I look up into the sky, I no longer see the stars. All I see is a blue black sky and the moon. But when I look up, all I see are faces. I see the veil all the time. It never, no matter what I look at, no matter where I'm at, everything has that veil in it. And I have that so I can, so they can communicate to me because of what I do as I cross them over.
okay. Uh, what is the purpose of the veil? Would you
The
give
veil
us a
is the
little bit of
separation.
insight?
It's the separation of where you go.
It's
You
the
either go
separation
one
of
of two
where you
places.
go.
Yeah, you either
Uh-huh.
cross over into the light or you remain here in a lower energy realm. What I would call, I refer to as earthbound, but it's just another realm. And this is a lower energy realm. And the unfortunate part of going to that lower energy realm is whatever age that you die, if you stay there, you will remain that age. So if you died at 8 years old or 80 years old, you will remain that age. And staying there, affords you to hold on to your pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish, all that stuff that you have right now. And one of the reasons why you are there is because you chose to hold on to that. But the other reason is being because when you see that light, when you wake up out of your body, you're going to get all the perfect memories of your lifetime here. But you're going to get the perfect memories of all your other lifetimes. When you realize you've been here many, many times, you're going to know if you walk into that light, there's a possibility that you may have to come back. And maybe you don't want to. So they don't. So they remain here so they don't have to come back. Now, when I say possibility...
Sorry, hang on. There's so much in the information that I know you've done quite a few interviews, so it's all like really like it's just, like really familiar information to you. But I'm feeling like there's a lot in this because
Oh, sure, there is.
We're talking about this information, and I'm kind of perceiving echoes from the audience in terms of why would anybody either want to come to this realm or want to stay here and not go to light?
Sure.
So
many different reasons. You could
so
you could
there's
be
these
talked into
natural
it.
or universal law set up, it seems to me, and I'm trying to understand why. What's the point?
Well, maybe someone here has convinced you that you're not good enough, because we get that all the time throughout our lives here, that you're not good enough to do anything. You don't have it, and they're trying to tell you you shouldn't have faith or trust within yourself. You're never good enough. You're not this big around or this big around.
So we're
You need
talking
to.
about an
Yes,
earthbound
absolutely.
experience, like a
Yes,
lifetime.
but
Okay.
there's also
Yep.
for the reason that some of the souls get lost because they don't realize that they have passed away. Because when you stand up out of your body, you still feel as though you are you. And why? Because you are you. So sometimes they get lost and they don't know where to go and what to do.
Slow down, Daniel.
Yeah.
Slow down, Daniel. Slow down.
Sure.
Slow down. So when you stand up, what are you talking about? Are you talking about your energy body, your soul,
Yes, your soul.
when you pass over, and then your consciousness, your soul stands up from the body? Is that
It's
what you
not
mean?
passing over yet. There's a choice that has to be made.
Right. Okay.
Your soul will rise up out of your body when your body passes away. And
Right.
then at that point, you're going to make a step to the left, and then you're going to look to your right, and there's a light that's going to turn on for you, and that's the light into heaven, and
Right.
that's where your choice is being made, because you still have free will with your choice, and you're going to choose to either walk into that light, or you're going to choose to not walk into that light.
Right. Okay.
And you're at that moment, like I said, when you come up out of your body, you're going to get perfect memories of your lifetime here, but you're going to get perfect memories of all your other lifetimes because your soul's been here many times.
Yep.
And then at that moment, you're going to decide if you're going to walk into that light or not.
Why would you not walk into the light?
Because you may feel as though you've been there many times and you had to come back. Maybe you don't want to have to come back again. And what I mean by that is what we call reincarnation. So you may have to come back into another body, and maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you don't want to have to go through, experience life all over again, because sometimes the lives you've had have been very hard. They're not always easy. And we always come back sometimes in one body or another body. We come back as a man or a woman. No one comes back as a horse or anything says, oh, I want to come back next time as an eagle. It doesn't work that way. You come back as a human being. But you come here to learn lessons and fulfill a purpose. And sometimes maybe, again, your life was just hard. And once you see that light, knowing with all those memories, there might be a possibility you may have to return again. And the reason being is maybe you just don't want to. Maybe you don't want to do it all over again. Because
So at this point, the soul still has a choice.
Absolutely.
Because the law of free will still applies.
Yes.
But that's not the case once you cross into the light?
Well, once you cross into the light, you will find out whether or not if you have to come back again, because everyone goes to a holding place. No one goes to heaven right away. and they're going to go over your life with you like a life review. It's not judgment
Yep.
or anything because God doesn't judge us. We judge ourselves a
Sure.
thousand times a day. Why does He need to do it
Mm,
once more? He doesn't.
mm,
So
mm.
they will go over your life with you and show you, okay, this is what you did, but this is what we wanted you to do. You had a choice to make that choice, and you just didn't complete it. And so because you didn't do what you were supposed to do, you didn't learn your lessons very well, you didn't fulfill your purpose, we're going to have to bring you back again. And not
Mhm.
everybody wants to come back again. I know I have done readings for people when someone asks me how many times they've been here. The average time is between 26 and 29 times. I just did a
Mhm.
reading for a woman a couple of days ago. She's been here 43 times. She
Wow.
messes it up every time. And she asked me at that point, she said, have I fulfilled my purpose? I said, no, you haven't. You haven't even come close. And I know why. And I told her why. I said, she said, do I still have time? And I said it in this simple way. And then you can answer me what you think it means. But I told her, you've run out of time. Now, what would that sound like to you if I said that to you?
I guess I'd be a little bit concerned about what that means. I've run out of
What it
time.
means is she's
Yeah.
run out of time. In other words, she was going to die soon. And she did 6 months later.
Right.
She
Got it.
never she
Okay.
didn't help anybody throughout her lives, and that's what our purpose is. Your purpose is not
Mm-hmm.
becoming a doctor or a lawyer. That is a choice that you're making as an occupation. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
fulfill your purpose by doing one thing, by being
Mm-hmm.
human. And that
Mm-hmm.
purpose is we're here to help each other just for the sake of helping, not just because you can, but because you should. And they want us to do that in our lives here. But we
Mm-hmm.
do it throughout our lives, but we don't do it as enough as much as spirit, as much as archangels, as much as God would like us to do. So sometimes
Mm-hmm.
they just have to bring us back and give us another go at it. It's not
Mm-hmm.
punishment. We're just trying to learn. We're just trying to figure things out. Because
Mm-hmm.
there's a term that says God bless you. Well, yeah, He did. He blessed you. He put you here. But He wants us to figure out the rest. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you were given everything in your lifetime, you wouldn't appreciate the things that you do have. If life was
Mm-hmm.
meant to be easy, what would be the point of living? You're here to learn. If you get cancer, it's because your body is meant to get cancer and your soul is meant to go through that experience and learn from it.
Mm.
And you can do
True.
one of two things. You can sit on your butt all day with your thumb up your ass all day and do nothing, or you could be proactive about it and go out and try to do something about it. But the end result is no matter what you do, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, there's two rules in this world. As long as you comprehend the rules and you follow them, you'll appreciate your life and everyone else's life around you. And rule number one is people die every day. And rule number two is you can't change rule number one. When it's your time to go, it just is. So ultimately, we're all going to die. I don't care what vaccine you take, you're
Sure.
going to die. But it's what you do in between that time of being born, waking up in a baby body going, when and your mom and dad's going, I'm your mom and dad. And you're going, I don't know who the hell you are, but okay. And then they raise you through your life. And then you make choices.
Okay. Now, let me circle back to
Sure.
the body's passed away, the soul rises up, as
Yeah.
we've discussed. And so you've explained the process of then having to make a choice at that point because at you're still you, and
Yes.
even though the body has passed away, you're still you, and you
Yes.
have all the memories from your life, and you have all the memories from past lives, and now you have to make a choice
Yes.
to do the life review and go to the light and potentially have to come back again,
Or not.
or or not.
Or you get to
So
stay.
what is the get to stay?
You get to stay home in heaven.
I don't understand.
So at that time when they would make that review of you, they will let you know whether or not you have to come back or not. And if you have to come back,
No, 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 no. That's not. Sorry. No, I'm back at the body, just dying, right,
okay,
and making a choice of whether to go to the light or not to go to the light.
okay,
What if the soul chooses not to go to the light?
then you will remain here as what I would refer to as an earthbound spirit, the ones who haunt the
Right.
houses, the ones who walk around. And
Ah.
where are they walking to? Nowhere. I see that realm. I see what almost looks like land. There's no buildings, there's no trees, but there are thousands upon millions of souls walking around, people, dogs, cats, horses, everything. They are walking around. Where are they walking to? I know the reason why they keep walking around, but there's nowhere to walk. And they always walk, a lot of them, in groups. And why do they walk in groups? Because you are in a low energy place. And what is in that low energy place? Very, very negative energies. And these negative energies feed off of the energy of those souls that are there. Now, they don't get enough. I see into that realm, and I see it's very dark in there, and they're just walking around. The only light that is there is from these individual souls, but collectively. But I see these bands of energy floating through like rivers of energy. And when they have to collect that in order to feel right, because if they don't, they would feel like what we feel here as being nauseous. That they are low of energy because, again, they're in this low energy place. They walk up to the bands. I see them. They cock their head back. They get in it. They collect energy. They come out of it like looks like they come out of a dream. And then they walk on and they go. Now, not every energy there is a negative person. Again, if they chose to go there, it's just because of their choice. Again, maybe they don't want to come back again. Maybe they're fine where they are. But everyone there does
Can
need
a
more
soul,
energy.
right? Can a soul that chose not to cross over change their mind down the track? Or do they need some sort of assistance to do that?
Well, yes. So they can change their mind at any time. They can cross over at any time because once your light, once you rise up out of your body and that light is in front of you, if you choose to not go in, it will turn off. But there's always one other light that shines that is the actual light into heaven. And it shines so that all spirit can see it, but not only see it, they can hear it. And what I mean by that is because that light is a particular soul that is here in a body every single time. Now, you come back, you go home, you will rise up out of your body. If you're here now, you have been to heaven, you had to come back. You go back, and then at a certain point, you will come back again into another body. This soul does not do that. This soul, when whatever body is in, when that body expires, it will come out of that body and go into the next planned body that's born, and it goes into that so that it can remain here to be that light all the time. So that
Right.
all spirit is attracted to it, can see it, because that's what mediums are. Mediums are, they have a soul that is brighter than other souls, and because other souls know
Got
that, they
it.
can see it,
Okay.
they can communicate with it and all that. But this one particular soul, again, they see this light because it's the brightest light of all, because it's the light into heaven, and they can hear it. So when it's in the body, even if it's walking around and talking, they can hear it. With other people like us, like you and me walking around, spirit can tune our voice out because there's 7.5 billion of us. They become like static after a while, and they just hear so much, they can tune it out. But this one soul, they cannot tune it out because it is the beacon. It is for all souls to see and hear. And then once they get there, because it is in a physical body, it will guide them on where to be. And that soul is me.
Right.
That is
Okay.
me. I am the
Okay.
light into heaven. You'll never hear another medium mention that because they can't, because it's not them. It only needs to be one. You have been
Uh-huh.
here, let me ask how many times? You've been here 28 times. So I just asked. They told me in my mind. I said 28 in my mind, and they touched my face for yes. That's a yes answer. When I get a no, it feels like a tear running down my face. But a yes answer is a mark going across. I feel that going across my forehead. So my soul, you've been here 28 times. My soul's been here since the beginning.
Got it.
But this is my last time
Right.
because this place is coming to an end.
Okay. Do we need to explain that? It feels like you dropped a bomb, almost
Well,
literally.
it's a bomb because you'll never hear it from anyone else ever again, and you will, because there's only one. So, in other words, I was chosen for this before I came here. I was chosen, and then I volunteered for this. Why? Because prior to being here, I was an archangel, and I
Okay.
chose this. That's why I have such a good connection with other archangels because I'm one of them.
And do you have a name as an archangel?
I do not know that name because it's been so long. Our names, the names that we have for archangels, even a name for God, is not their real names. Our names, their names, are more of a. Even your soul's name is not Diana. It's Diana this time, but
Sure. Yeah.
your true name is more of a sound vibrational thing.
Got
You
it.
and I
Okay,
could.
like a frequency. Yeah.
Yes, we cannot pronounce it because we have a voice box. I mean,
Yeah,
even
right.
even
Yeah, fair.
words here are made up. God did not create words. He gave us an ability to make sound. We created words. So, in other words, you can say any word that you want to that begins with the letter F that doesn't sound like fire truck, and He really doesn't care. As long as you're not putting that energy, that negative energy. If you want to say ass all day long, that's great. But if you want to call someone an ass, he doesn't want us to do that because that's treating each other with disrespect. That's not. We're here to take care of each other, not to be horrible to each other. But we've been taught to be horrible to each other, so that's how they remain control and power of us.
So, Daniel, since you've explained that you're the light, the beacon for
Yes,
those souls that have chosen to stay on, say, this side of the veil as opposed to going to the light,
sure.
um,
Not
are
but
you able to explain or discuss maybe a little bit more about your purpose? Like,
yes. So
what is your soul's like? What is it that you? What is your purpose?
I am here to be a. I am a portal for all spirit. So in other words, when you are born, you come through an energy to get here. You're coming through my energy. When you leave here and go back home, when you pass away and you're going through, you come through me. When you are coming here to visit someone, say you're a soul and you're coming here to visit your mom and dad as a spirit, you're coming through my energy. I'm a portal for all spirit. That is my. So, in other words, that's why I have to be here all the time. That's why I have to be open all the time. That's why, like I explained, when I see spirit, it never turns off, it never goes away. I'm always have to be open so that they can come through or go home or cross over or come to visit. Or, well, like I said, when they die, I have to be open for everything all the time. It's, and that is not, you know, easy. It's very tiring. Now it's something that I don't have control over a lot of it because they just cross over when they decide to cross over. So, but it is very tiring at times. But I know it's for a big reason, and that's why it was my choice in this lifetime to either accept that or not, and I chose to accept it. And now that I'm open to it, now they bring me answers of everything about it and why it happens, and it makes it easier to understand. But it wasn't easy becoming this
No,
because
but it wasn't.
the archangels work on me because I'm in this body. They have to work on my soul in order to enable me to be able to see, hear, feel, communicate with spirit better. Because the blockages that I have is being in this meat suit. And that causes a lot of blockages. People talk about wanting to raise their vibrations and all that stuff. You can only raise your vibrations so high. You can't get to this spiritual or even angel-like vibration. No one can. You are in a physical body. You can only go so high. It's not going to get where you think you can or where you want to be because you're connected to this meat suit. Once you leave, you'll return to being that. But you're not going to care about your meat suit anymore. But you're also not going to
Yeah.
care about a lot of earth stuff either because you're going to let go of your pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish, and all that stuff.
So when I'm trying, if possible, to get some sort of understanding,
Sure. It's a lot.
maybe more felt, intuitive understanding rather than just intellectual understanding. So I'm understanding the words that you're saying, but as I'm trying to kind of, step into more, embody more what you're saying through my heart portal so that I have that more genuine experience of this conversation. I'm wondering, because I know what it's like for me when I feel energy changing in my
Yeah.
body, or
Oh, sure. We all
when
do.
I'm channeling, or like consciously feel it.
Yes.
And you're absolutely right. There are some symptoms, physical symptoms that go alongside of
Correct.
this frequency energy stuff that is sometimes quite physically uncomfortable, right?
Yes.
And so I'm sort of thinking, wow, what is it like for you experiencing this constant 24/7 never-ending flux of souls coming and going?
Causes my body to be sick.
In what way, if you don't mind me asking,
In the
sweetheart?
very beginning, when they would work on me, they would do it every 2 weeks, once every 2 weeks. If you've ever seen the movie Avatar, it's like that. So in the movie Avatar, there's a man, the soldier, he gets hurt, and they put him in that clear cylinder, and you see these little things come down. They're fixing his body. That's what I see every 2 weeks at that point. And I see
Wow.
them standing above me, and I see their arms coming down, and I feel little cold touches all over my body. They're working on my soul. But they tell me
Ah,
because of the body being very fragile, it was going to make me sick. And when I mean sick, I'm not kidding. So after they would do that, the very next day, I would be in the bathroom and it would be coming out of both ends. Okay? It's coming
yeah,
out of both
okay.
ends, and this would go
Yeah.
on for hours of the day. And then it would
Oh,
take me
wow.
a few days to regain my energy back. So I would be very sick. And then 2 weeks later, it would happen again. And this went on for 3 years. Now, it still happens today, but I've gotten used to it now. So my body doesn't get as ill. But they work on me a lot more. They work on me 3 or 4 times a week. And it's not, usually it was when I would be going to sleep, but now it's just, I know when it's happening now because one of my archangels starts touching me in a way, and then I ask him, I said, "Are you working on me?" And then I get touched, yes. So I'm used to it now. I still get sick, but it doesn't happen as often. But in the very beginning for me, when I found out that I was a medium, I was seeing so many things. It was just, I've seen spirit my entire life ever since I was 3, but at this moment, right before I turned 50, I was seeing much, much more. And that's when I reached out to try to find out what was going on. And then this is what I found out. But so what I had to do at that time was I had to have a big sit down talk with God and decide where I was going to go. Was I going to accept this and move forward, or was I going to push it away? Because a lot of us wake up. Everyone wakes up, but again, they show us signs of waking up. We feel as though we have an interest in this or something's going on. I feel drawn to it. And they want to see if you're going to move forward with it or not. But not everybody does. But again, not everybody's meant to because this life isn't for everyone. Now, is that going to happen for every single medium? No, it just happens for a way that it's meant for you. This was meant for me because of being that light. There were big changes that needed to be made. So I accepted that. But I didn't know what I was saying yes to.
Right.
But when it happened, I accepted it. It was a couple of years after that, my wife said, knowing everything you've gone through and still go through, when you had to make that decision of talking to God, would you have done the same thing? Would you? move forward with it? And I said yes. The reason being is because I get to help people every single day. I get to give them answers. I get to give them peace of mind and clarity throughout their lives. I'm not the medium that's here to tell you about your soulmate, or now they rebranded it called twin flame. It's not even what you think it is. A soulmate is a soul that you work very well with back at home, and now you're both here together. Does that mean you're going to fall in love with them? No. It could be a dog or a cat. It could be your mom or dad or
Mm-hmm.
your best friend. Okay, it's just another soul. But there's all these other mediums out there who want to sensationalize everything because it brings customers to them. Okay, it's a lot of bullcrap, is what it is. But I had to accept all this. But I'm not upset that I accepted. I'm not dreading what I accepted. I'm in this 100%. They always gave me a choice. I've been able to channel with other mediums, and the ones that I did it with, the message always came through. You can choose to not do this if you don't want to anymore. And I said, no, I'm fine with it. I said, I have to do this. I know I have to do this. I can't. The light part is me no matter what. But everything else I have to do. I feel this is within me. And what is that feeling? That's my soul saying, yes, you have to do this. And I said, I would tell them, you guys know I have to do it. And they always laughed and said, yeah, we know you're going to do it. But we still have to give you the choice.
Sure, yeah.
It's everything's a choice.
May I ask, how old were you in this lifetime when this all came to your awareness?
Right before I turned 50. So it was about
Right.
6 months before I turned 50 years old. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I've seen spirit my entire life, and I have seen some
Sure.
very unusual things. But it was at this time that I saw everything going on at that particular house, everything you can imagine that was ever in a scary movie, and I saw it in my house. But not only did I see it, I had a paranormal group come to my house, and they witnessed it. So much so that when they left my house, the group they were supposed to come back with a big reveal. They didn't come back because they broke up on my front lawn because they were so scared. When I finally got a hold of them about 2 months later, I asked them to come back and do the big reveal, and they said they wouldn't enter my house. They were too scared to come in. Now, not that there was anything bad that was going on, but they said the information that they got usually takes them 10 or 15 houses to get, not just from one. It scared them that much. When they took pictures of me walking around the house, they would take a picture of me and then a picture of somebody else in the group and then me with the other member. When they took a member picture, there was nothing there. When they took a picture of me, there was always 15 or 20 light orbs completely surrounding me because I'm the light, because they're coming to me. That's why I see so many. I have an ability to see them, but I see so many because they're all around me, because a lot of them want to cross over, but a lot of them don't. Some of them just stand there and they like to watch because, people, they're people. They're inquisitive. They want to know what that is, what's going on, what is that. It's just they don't see me like you see me. When they see you, they see your body frame. They see a light inside of you, and they know that's your soul. With me, I just look like a ball of light. So sometimes spirit does come up to me. The positive ones, the regular ones, will come up to me and touch me, pinch me, poke me. They do it all over my body. Again, how do you get used to it? Like I said, when we're kids, our mom and dad's feed us green beans, and then 30 years later, you like green beans because you get used to it. And I just do. But it's not
Um,
easy.
sure. Yeah.
Just is
Doesn't
what it is.
sound easy. It doesn't sound romantic. It doesn't
No, it's
sound,
not. It's not romantic at all.
any kind of any version of easy at all.
Spirit. So one thing that I do is spirit brings people to me, especially when I do these podcasts. Someone connects with it and it resonates with them, and they know their soul is driving them to come to me because they have an ability. So they come to me, and I will explain things to them to get them to move forward or not. I have done probably in the past year about 25 of these reads, is what I call the big talk, because Spirit wants me to do this. My guides want me to do this because of everything that I have gone through. I can explain to them what could or possibly happen to them if they move forward with this. And I've done about 25 in the past year. 2 of them move forward.
Okay, so this
It's
kind of
hard.
nicely leads into what I wanted to talk about next, which is
Sure.
how do you actually structure being in service. Like, I know you've got a book and we'll talk about it in a minute, but your sessions, these big talk sessions that you just described,
Sure.
is that with people? Like, they come to you and you have the big talk with them about what, waking up, or about crossing over, or about reconciling their life, and etc.
I give it to the
What is the
people
big
that
talk?
I give the big talk to the people who it is meant for, because not everyone is meant for this. There are you have different types of mediums as well. You have some mediums who are the circus sideshow. You have some mediums who just, again, like I say, talk to general spirit. And these are the ones who are going to help people get the answers from your moms and dads. That's not what I do. And the people that come to me are for something similar to what I do. Because not all mediums have archangels with them. They have spirit guides with them. But I have archangels
Okay,
with me
I'm
for a
not sorry,
different reason.
Daniel. With all due respect, I don't give a flying F about anybody else. I don't want to compare. I'm really interested in what you're doing, like
Sure.
really interested. Can you just tell me what are those sessions? Like, are they sessions? Like,
Well,
what
it's
is
just
it that?
they come to me for a reading, and then I explain to them what has to happen to them in their life to become this. Because in order to
Oh,
become
to
this,
become a medium? Is that what you mean?
well, a different type of medium. They're coming to me
Right,
because the medium that they're going to become is similar to what I am. Is in other
right.
words, they have their guides go from being regular guides. When they say yes to this, they will receive the other true guides that are with them, which are archangels. And the reason you
Right,
have,
got it.
yes,
Okay.
the reason you
Right.
have archangels with you is because you are doing something, you are performing a specific task that God wants you to do, and you are helping the masses. You're not just helping one person here and there, an
Sure. Yep.
individual. You are helping the
Hmm.
masses, and you will need information from those archangels in order to help you to do that. That's why. And that's why they get the big talk. And the big talk, again, is to explain to them the possible things like the sickness that I go through,
Right,
all the other
right.
experiences that I have. I give them this talk to give them the understanding, because when I did this, I did not get that talk. I did not get
Yeah.
the understanding. But the
Mm,
mediums who told me about me and my story, about what was going to happen to me, didn't know, because they were not aware, because they also did not have archangels with them. I'm a different
mm,
type. And these ones who come to me are also that different type, and they have the opportunity to move forward with us. But I have to give them this big talk of everything that I went through and everything that could possibly happen to them,
right.
because they have to make a choice whether or not they can fit that into their lives. Because you don't
Mhm.
fit this into your life, it is your life. And you
It
make a
is your life, yeah.
360-degree turn,
Mm,
and you have
mhm.
to change your life completely, because, as I explained, you can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You can't pretend to be in this life and guide other people how to do that. You have to be in this life as well. And that's
Mm,
a hard job. I just did a reading for a guy for that same thing. And he is still hooked on alcohol. He's still hooked on smoking marijuana. And I said, you cannot do that. You have
mm,
to be a clear mind, clear body, and clear soul to receive clear messages. And you
mhm,
cannot do that. And he's still having a hard time. And Spirit has already informed me that he will not do this, because
mm,
he can't make that change. You have to make a complete embodiment change. And that's why they come to me, so I can explain all of that to them. And that
mm.
session usually lasts, when I do the reading for them, 3 or 4 hours, because there's a lot to
Wow.
explain.
Sure.
There's a lot
Yeah.
to explain. So what
And
I am doing is I called myself this the other night. I just figured, I think, well, that's a good. I'm a recruiter. I recruit them. But this is not for everyone. Not everyone can become a Navy SEAL. You have to be
mm,
a pretty special person to do that.
yeah,
You have
yeah,
to be a pretty special person to do this. And if
yeah,
you're not
yeah,
willing to make the changes, that's okay,
yeah.
because you cannot do it, and then they'll wake someone else up to it. Because some of
Yes.
us have this, but they are not realizing that until they find something resonates with them, and then the next thing you know, they find themselves their way to me, and then
Mm,
I explain this to them. Now, I
yeah,
have had some of the talks with some people who are just meant to be what I refer to as a regular medium, and I
right.
tell them about things. But if I'm having to talk with you and I don't say to you in the very beginning, okay, we need to have the big talk, then it's not for you because it's
Yeah,
not
fair
meant
enough.
for you. Because everyone has this ability when they come in, they have gifts when they come in because you just came from a perfect place. But it's not passed down to you from your mom and dad. This is something that is in your soul that you're meant to be because some of us are meant to be teachers, others are just meant to be students. And when you have this, the things that takes that away from us is because we wake up in that baby body and then we came from a pure place. We're pure again. But then we get taught the ways of the world, and it washes a lot of that away because we believe the lies and the deception that we're taught throughout our lives. And then we walk around like sheep, like the rest of the people. You're not going to be sheep when you're this. And you can't
Yeah.
be. And you can't be. So you have to make different
And
choices in
that's
your
not
life.
an easy adjustment.
Oh,
Not being
absolutely. You have to.
sheep is not an easy
You go
adjustment.
through a ego death. You let go of a lot of things that are just not important anymore.
Yeah.
But being that person means you're also can't. You're not going to want to be around a lot of people anyway because you pick up on their negative energy and you don't want to be
Yeah.
around that.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying because this is you.
Yeah.
Because you feel you get messages. This is you're more, and you get things and you understand it. That's why it
Yeah.
resonates with you. That's why you're asking all the questions because it's part of you and who you are as well.
Yeah. Um, I want to ask you, you know how you said you've had 25 of those conversations just in the last 12
Year,
months?
yeah.
Yeah.
One
It
of them,
seems
like last week.
like a lot. Like it seems like more and more people are now, um, I want to say, being activated or maybe just recognizing that there's more than just this
Yeah.
meat suit,
And
right?
it's about 10% of the population that has this, and as and what they and the ones that have what I have, I mean, like I said, I did 25 of these people so far, and the two of them have moved forward. What's that? About
Wow.
10%. It's about 10%.
Yeah, right. How interesting.
Yeah. And I tell them if you move forward, great. If you don't, it's fine. It's okay. They'll wake someone else. It's not a problem. But I always tell them the one thing that I had to tell myself: can you hand this off to someone else? But it is a big responsibility. It's kind of like the Spider-Man thing. With great power comes great responsibility. And then
Yeah.
once they, but again, they think they want to do this because here's the thing of it. Everybody says they want my gift. Okay, this is not a gift. This is an ability that I have. It comes through with your soul. They all say, I want your gift. But you know what they don't want? They don't want all the other stuff that comes along
Responsibility.
with it.
Yeah.
They don't want. I see negative energies all day long. I can make them go away, or I get my archangels to go make them go away. But then another one turns around and comes back. So I'm always surrounded by them. But why are they surrounded? Why am I surrounded by them so much? Is because I'm the light. Because
Yeah.
they're always going to try to. And these are horrible energies, and people want to know the kinds of things that they say and do. I have had some of them come up to me and they talk right to my face and tell me, go get a gun and shoot yourself. They want me to die because they don't want
Yeah.
me doing what I'm doing. And what do I do?
Yes.
What do
Yeah.
I do is I work for God. That's what I do. And they don't like that.
Yeah. No.
I take away their energy sources from that other side of being the earthbound realm because I cross them over. I mean,
Ah,
for me, when I cross them
wow.
over, I hear everything as English. I know other mediums when they hear people or spirit around them. Sometimes I hear them speaking Spanish or Chinese. I don't. So even if a dog talks to me, I hear it as English because they ask me questions. And because they ask me questions, I have to get the answers from the archangels. They tell me something, and then I tell it back to them, and then I guide them through. But the thing about that is because they can ask me questions, so can anyone else. And I get the
Yeah.
answers. The problem
Right.
with that is, Diane, is people come to me because they want an answer from God. And I get the answer. But they don't usually like it. Because you know why?
Yeah.
No one likes the truth. That's why. Still the truth.
So you say people come to you. How do people find you, and how do you prefer to work with people? Do people want to, like, what's the most common request?
They want to know if they have fulfilled their purpose. They want to know A lot of them ask health questions. A lot of them ask about their children.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I never get? But some people do ask me, am I going to win the lottery? The thing about winning the lottery is if you win the lottery, it's because you're meant to win it.
Yeah,
But the point of
sure.
winning it is what you do with it. Now, if you're going to be one of those people who's going to take all the money and spend it on yourself and do all that egotistical bullcrap, guess who's coming back again?
Yeah,
You will.
that's it. Just
Because
excuse me
as
for,
yeah,
yeah, sorry.
as I
Go ahead.
tell people, I don't make the rules. I just explain them. When in today's society, we have all these people who are LGBTQ and all this, or I'm non-binary, binary. No, there are two, men and women. I see spirits. They're men and women. That's it. Now I do see other species, other beings and stuff like that. Can't tell what they are. I just know they're not human. But there are men and women. Now, you can jump up and down and scream and do all that stuff you want. I want to be different. I want to be different. You can do that all you want. When you go start changing parts, no, you're coming back. And why are you coming back? Because you're meant to learn lessons in this body. You start changing parts of that body. You're not learning
Ah, I see
you're
what
not
you
learning the
mean.
lessons that
Okay.
your soul contract, because you
Soul
have a choice.
contract. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you have a choice. And if you choose in the
Mm-hmm.
opposite direction that you're meant to go, you're coming back
Right. Got it. Okay.
over and over.
How very interesting.
Yeah. And I try to
So,
tell them that. But I mean, if you are gay or bisexual, that's fine, because in heaven you're allowed to love anybody that you want to, as we are meant to do here. But it's people who judge each other, not God. But we make rules and laws here, so stupid stuff. Because you are a divine soul. Everyone is, not just Jesus. Everyone. No one does
Daniel, tell
anything
us a
wrong.
little bit about. Sorry, thank you for that. I interrupted you. Tell us a little bit about your book.
You're fine.
Tell us about your book.
The book, the book is a chronological story of me and how everything happened to me, but also how it happened for me, and the reasons why it happened for me. And it goes through like mentioning all the times that I have seen spirit my entire life, and I give the bigger stories. I mean, I see spirit walk around all day long, but some of these instances are very dramatic, or what we would call traumatic. So I mentioned those in there. I also mentioned I have about 6 of my favorite reads that I ever did prior to writing the book. And that's like I would be somewhere doing a reading for someone at a festival and something really amazing came through. So I put that in there as well. And then there's a section about how my wife met me in there. She wrote that part of it. But at the very end, that's the most important part of the book, and that is chapter 12. It's called The Basics. And these were 25 channeled messages that come from my guides, archangels. Essentially, they come from God. I mean, I even asked them that one time, does God want me to do this? Does God want me to do that? And they said, whatever answer we tell you is coming from God. Whatever answer we tell you to give to someone else is coming from God. So that's why I say people come to me for an answer from God, because I get it. But so they gave me these messages, and these are messages that they want us to implement into our lives to help us, so that we can help others to implement them into their lives. And then in turn, when we do that, what are we doing? We're helping ourselves at the same time. These messages are meant to change the world. And I
Right.
hope people do that. But I can only hope that.
That's right.
And when I sell the
Um,
book, I only sell it for $8. And why do I sell it just for $8? Because I'm trying to sell 1,000,000 books, but I'm not trying to make $1,000,000. I'm just trying to help 1,000,000 people or more.
nice distinction. Beautiful. I
Not
like
too
that.
shabby, right?
Yeah,
I
it
didn't even I didn't
resonated.
even
It
name
felt
the
beautiful.
I didn't even name the book. Spirit named it.
Yeah.
They told me the
Of
name. They
course.
said they called it the new beginning, because the new beginning's not about me. It's about everyone else. It's about where we're going and what we need to do.
I
Even
look forward to reading it.
the last page of the book doesn't even say the end. it says something else, and it has a double meaning to it.
Ah, don't tell us. Let's find
I
out
won't.
when we
I don't
buy
want
the
to
book.
ruin it for you.
I don't have the link to the book on Amazon.
They
Would
can
you
just
have it handy by
well,
any chance? So
they can just
yeah,
go to Amazon,
right.
and they can punch in the search bar. Just punch in
The new
Daniel
beginning,
Jackson,
right?
The New Beginning, My
Got it.
Awakening as a Spirit Medium. That's all they have to do. And what's going
Yeah,
to come up is a
yeah,
picture, okay? And the picture looks like this of a man walking into a bright
got it.
white light. And see that right there? That man's me, okay?
Yeah,
And so it's not really me because we tried to take pictures, but we had to license this picture, but we're allowed to use this picture forever. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, it looks like me. So
I was going to
it's a
say, looking
silhouette.
good there, Daniel.
Yeah, not too shabby, right? Yeah, a lot thinner than me, that's for sure. But yeah, so all they have to do is put in Daniel Jackson, New Beginning, My Awakening as a Spirit Medium, and it'll come up with that picture, and it is in paperback, or you can also get it as Kindle. I think Kindle's like $6.49. But again, I'm not trying to become a millionaire, and I'm not trying to even become famous in that way. I would love to be famous in a way that I'm helping everyone that I can, so I can get the word out there, so I can get the message out there. But do I need to be revered or be like have people like worship me? No. But there was one other who was just like me, and he didn't want the same thing. But we do it today, and his name was Jesus. He was just trying to help us. He was trying to let us know that we could all share everything in the world and live in the world together as free men and women, and share everything, because there's enough of everything in the world for everyone to share, and we wouldn't have to pay for it. We could just do it. You could become a doctor just to be a doctor, just to heal people. And if you had healed someone, maybe they could do something for you in return, like a barter system. That's why he was here. But it was the people who had power and control over everyone, the kings and queens, religion, they don't want to tell you that, who put him on that cross. And they tortured him and murdered him in front of everyone to let them know that if you follow what this man is telling you to do, if you do any of that, we're going to do this to you too. So that's what I tell people all the time. Why do you want to wear a cross around your neck? Because what you're wearing is a symbolism of punishment. Because they want you to wear that so they can remind you of how much control and power they have over you. And not what Jesus did for you, because Jesus didn't do anything except die for being a free thinker. He didn't die for your sins because he knows, he was letting everybody know that we are all divine souls. But the people who are in power and control want to put that in a book and only want you to think that only he was the divine soul. Again, so they could use his name and God's name to have control and power over you. I mean, they say God is a merciful God. Yes, he's also a forgiving God. Which one is he? He is neither. He is a loving God because he is your Father. And he's here to, again, he brought us here so that we can figure things out for ourselves. But he does bring help to us as well. And spirit guides are not here to give you something in a riddle. They don't want to do that. They want you to figure it out. So they will give us the messages. But the problem is most of us just don't listen. I'm here to help people learn to listen. That's what I'm here to do. I'm a teacher, as Jesus was. Because he is my brother, just as you are my sister. Because we're all related, because we all come from the same family, the soul family.
Yeah.
We're just here to learn lessons, fulfill a purpose. That's why we come here.
So then, in closing, and at the risk of opening up the good old Pandora's box,
You are awesome.
I want to ask you a question about this time in our evolution.
We're not doing so good.
Yeah.
We will all eventually rise up and leave here. There's going to be a point for that. There have been other civilizations that have done this. Atlantis, the Mayan Indians. I mean, why do we only see the buildings and we don't see them? Because they figured it out. They got it right. They all rose up out of their bodies and moved on to a higher consciousness. We have not. We are still here. We're not doing very well. But I'm here to hopefully change that. But again, with the ones who get the big talk are going to help me with that because I
Yeah.
cannot be the only one because they tried that with one before and they put him on a cross and murdered him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Um, so raising consciousness, raising the frequency on this planet in order for us to be able to transcend these really dense states of being.
Raising has to be done by learning to let go. Letting go of the things that are not important. It's not important to have 6 cars and 7 houses and 10 boats. It's not important to go on 10 vacations. It's not
Oh my
important to
God.
spend all the money you have and then go into debt and then they get you out of debt and then you go back into debt again. It's not important that here's some things that are important. We have things in this world that they want us to believe that we have and only they can cure for us. We have depression, alcoholism, all that. That's all in our control. Why do you have these depressive feelings? Because of one thing. You choose to hold on to them. You could go to a doctor and he could do one of two things. He could send you to another doctor, a specialist, and he's going to talk you down for it, or he can give you some medicine that will suppress it. But you're always going to continuously go to get that medicine. In other words, you're supporting the system of money and power and control. But again, that other doctor could talk you down from it. You know what you could do? You could talk yourself out of it, and you could learn to let it go. Because it's not important. Because even past life regression, past lives are not important. Your past life, if your past life, your previous life to this one was so important, you would have fulfilled your purpose. You wouldn't be here now. What's important
Would
is
you,
what you do
sorry,
now.
can I just check in with that particular
Yeah,
thing?
sure.
I would, in my personal experience, I would absolutely, I'm with you 100% when you say that it's not like the most important thing, but
Yeah,
I'm
they were
kind of
important when you were
feeling
living
like,
it, but you're no longer living that life. You're living this one.
but do you think that maybe for some souls, it could be part of the awakening process to actually be remembering those things? Like it could be used as a helpful tool?
Sure, because I mean, we do bring
Mm,
back things from our souls. We
mm,
that things that are and memories and stuff like that. I mean, when you have a deja
mhm,
vu, that's a memory.
mm,
It's not this made up deja vu word and stuff like that. They put the society. When I say they, I mean society. The people who are in
mhm.
control. They tell us to eat bacon one day, and they tell us not to eat the bacon the next day. You know
Yeah,
what I
next
think?
day,
I
yeah.
think they
Mm.
need to shut the hell up. But the problem is they say all this stuff and we listen to it and we follow through with what they tell us and
Mhm.
it's proof of the world. But
Yeah.
yes, things do come through, but are you supposed to be depressed by something you had a previous lifetime? No.
No.
Again, because you're
Yes.
here to
Right.
learn in this lifetime. This is the life
Mhm,
that
mhm,
it's important. But if you go back and maybe that will help you, maybe that'll give you a tool to not repeat the same things because if you're here now, it's because you've had to come back again because every time you've been before, you probably repeated the same mistakes over and over and over again. We call
mhm,
them mistakes, but there are no mistakes. There's no epic failures. There's no right and wrong. There's only two things in this world: what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And unfortunately, we have to go through sometimes a lot of things that don't work for us until we find out what does work for us. If you walk through a doorway and there's a nail in the floor and you trip over the nail, how do you learn that lesson? You go get a hammer and bang it back in so you can walk through the door. Maybe you don't. Maybe you trip over it 4 or 5 times. Or maybe you're
mhm,
just one of those people who just doesn't learn lessons very well and you continue to trip over it. So
mhm,
maybe something prior to another lifetime or many lifetimes, maybe there was something in there that you keep doing. And maybe you get that knowledge and then you figure out, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah,
I
there it
need to
is.
change.
Yeah.
I need to make a
Mhm,
change. So now I know what to avoid if it comes up in this lifetime. Because there are
mhm,
many lessons because, there just are. I mean, if I pick up this, I have a cough drop here. If I pick it up and I put it down, that's a lesson. If I pick it up and drop it, how do I learn it? Well, maybe next time I'll grip it a little bit tighter, so I
mhm.
learn that lesson,
So,
so I don't drop
yeah,
it. If you
yeah.
spill your coffee, it's not the end of the world. You know what you do? You go clean it up and get another freaking coffee. Come on, people, it's that easy. But the world wants us to believe They don't want us to have trust or faith within ourselves to do anything for ourselves. They want us to believe that we have to rely on them for everything, and we don't have to.
So, yes, I completely agree. So then, and you may have already said it, but I'm going to ask you to repeat
It's
it.
okay.
Last, if you, hang on, rewind.
That's okay.
What would be um, your advice collectively for everybody that we could do, something we can do in our lives today to help this process of collectively awakening and letting go?
Learn to listen and follow through. When you get those gut feelings inside of you, when they're telling you to do something or telling you to not do something, learn to listen, learn to trust it, and learn to follow through with it. In a sense, where here's an analogy I use sometimes. If you're driving in a car and you see a car in front of you and you get that, and you say, I want to pass that car, but you get that gut feeling that says, don't pass the car. Well, you know what? Don't pass the car. Because what is your gut feeling? This is the big one. What is your intuition? And that is your soul. That is your soul trying to guide you, trying to let you know what you need to do and need to not do. And we need to learn to listen to that and listen to it more. And not just listen to it because we want an answer for one thing, but listen to it constantly throughout our lives and follow that. And when we learn to do that, we will see that life will come to us much easier because we're listening to what's the most important thing in this world. Again, it's your soul. I mean, your soul is the most important thing. That's where you hold everything. It's your memories and everything. It's not your brain. Your brain just makes the little part works. And how do I know that? Because I see spirit all the time, and they talk to me, and they have memories. So if they have memories, how would that be possible? Because they don't have a brain. Because the brain is nothing. The brain just makes but the world science, they want you to think it's everything. It's not, okay? So we need to learn to listen to that and follow through. And how do I know people don't listen and follow through? Because you're in the hospital later talking to your friend who got into a car accident, and they tell you 3 words. You ready? They say, Diana, I saw that car in front of me, and I wanted to pass it. And then they say this. I just knew. When they say that, I just knew, that means their soul was talking to them. And they didn't listen.
Mm-hmm.
And what they tried to do was get around that car. What are they trying to do? They're trying to get into the life further than they were meant to do. And they didn't pay attention to it. And then what happened? Boom.
Yeah.
Life, spirit, slowed you down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you learn to listen, when you learn to follow through, so much more is going to come to you easier. Because they are bringing us messages all the time. But we just don't listen to them. If we learn to listen to them, we learn to trust them, and we learn to follow through with those gut feelings that you're getting, you're going to find out that your life is going to be easier to do. All of us. But we need to learn to do that collectively. But
And
there
can
are...
people, yeah,
Go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, can people contact you to learn how to do this?
Sure. I mean, just they can contact me. I do a podcast myself. It's called Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson. Me. And I do interviews with other people, but I do talk about these types of things as well. And I try to do some individual shows. I'm going to do some more. I got a whole bunch of ideas, and I'm going to also do individual shows on showing people what is real and what is not real within this. I hate to call it, but it is a business as well. I'll give you as an example. People do something called smudging. They use what's that stuff? Sage to burn things to make negative energies go away. No, it doesn't work. Putting the good intentions out works, but you cannot get this ball of weeds that's all bound up and tied up and burn it and make negative energies go away. Do you know why? Because these energies are no longer in this body. They're no longer in this realm. And because they are not in a body, they don't have a lungs, they don't breathe, they don't eat, they don't sleep. They don't smell. And that smell, that smoke is a physical thing here. They're not physical anymore. So they cannot smell this thing and it will not make them go away. So the only thing that you're doing at that point is setting off your fire alarms. Because if this were not the truth, then how come all the forest fires in the world have not made all the negative energies go away? Because they
Good
can't.
point.
Negative energies can go away by doing one thing: positive energies. Positive, putting positive feeling out there, putting positive intention out there, putting good vibes out there. When you are a positive person, these negative energies do not want to be around you because it's like two magnets. They just can't hold the same space. They don't want to be around positive energy. They want to be around negative people so they can suck their negative energy off of them. They're energy vampires. So as long as you remain a positive person. Now, if you spill your coffee, again, clean it up and go get another one. It's not the end of the world. But if you walk around going, oh, my world, now my day is going to suck, then you're going to invite these things into your life. So don't. Change the way you do things. Change your attitude about things. Look about things as positively as you can. And then you won't have to worry about those things. So I'm going to do some shows on types of things like that to help
Yeah.
people.
Excellent. When I talk to my clients, when I work one-on-one, and I sort of, because I work holistically, my whole entire purpose in this life is
It's your life. It's who you are.
it's my life. It's who I. Yes, you're right. I I sort of correlate and make sense of what you're talking about via. Sort of, I use the example of, we've got sort of, IQ, as in mental intelligence, in emotional intelligence, and then energetic or soul intelligence is necessary for
Correct.
us to really embody and be smart about what we're here to do, about
If you
living our purpose. It's really important.
and yes, and they have to, again, they have to choose to want to do that. Not everyone does. We
Sure.
need to turn that around, don't we? And again,
Yeah.
it's not just me; it's you too. I mean, you do the same thing. You're trying to get people back on track to what they could be, to get them to be the best version of themselves.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's yeah.
Yeah, fist
It's
pump to you,
important.
lady. Boom.
Yep,
We're in this
yep,
together. But
yeah, we sure
and
are.
but we have always all been in this together, and I mean the whole
Yeah.
world. And that's what we need to figure out because we're here to help each other. I mean, if we were
Yeah.
not here to help each other, there wouldn't be 7.5 billion of us. There would only be one. We're here to take care of each other and do
Yes.
right by each other and have respect for each other. That's what we need. And once we start that line of thinking, that line of teaching, all this other stuff will go away. We have to stand up and take the power back because we relinquished the power a long time ago to these people who were in control, kings and queens and all that stuff. We call them governments now, and big pharma, all that stuff. We relinquished the power a long time ago. We let them do everything now. Do they really do anything for us except control us? No. Take it back.
Yeah, the whole self-interest, corporate self-interest conversation is a whole nother,
Oh, it's another story.
it's a whole nother episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, my darling, we're already into an hour and 15, so we might finish up here. I want to give you the opportunity to give us a quick few last words, if you like,
Sure.
or whatever it is that you are guided to say at this time, and then we'll close this conversation.
The biggest one, judgment. Don't
Mm-hmm.
judge anybody. When you think you're about to judge someone, when you're looking at this person and they're coming up to you and maybe their clothes are off or their hair's off or something about them that you think you want to think about or say about or do something about, before you do that, I want you to take a self-inventory of yourself. I want you to think about everything that you've gone through in your entire life, all the good days, but all the bad days as well. Think about all that stuff. And then look at that person and think to yourself, maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they're not in a good way. And then you bite your lip and then you walk away because you don't have a right to do it because we're all the same. We're all equal. We all came to this place. We can all leave and go back to the same place if you choose. But we're all equal. So don't judge anyone. Let it go. It's not important. Maybe you could do something different. Maybe you can help that person. Maybe you could just say hello. Because we spend so much energy walking past each other, avoiding each other all the time. I see someone coming towards me. I'm going through this doorway. Maybe if I turn this way, maybe you could just say hello. Maybe you'll bring a smile upon that person's face who has had a bad day. And maybe you'll change their outlook. Why not just try to do that? Let's try to be better people. And let's help other people to be better people so we can all get through this life the way we should be, collectively, in a good place.
Lovely. Beautiful. Love those last words. Thank you so much, Daniel. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate you, appreciate what you agreed to do for this life and the purpose and the journey and the gifts you are bringing at
Doing my
this
best.
time to all of us and to the world. Thank you, my darling.
Thank you.
Okay. So, if you don't mind, I'm just going to now close this conversation with that beautiful infusion of that light and that energy, and but stay here so that we can catch up when we're finished. Okay,
You
when we've
betcha.
closed the broadcast. Okay. All right. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. That was really insightful. It was, of course, completely amazingly illuminating. It's okay if you didn't understand everything. It's okay if you have lots more questions. It's okay if you didn't quite get it or didn't resonate with everything. The point being, it's important to start to consider, ask questions, plant those seeds, allow your soul to step forth more into your reality so that you can be guided by the most authentic part of who you actually are. I want to invite you to go and check out Daniel's website and also Amazon for Daniel's book. And while you're at it, if you have any questions, feel free to contact either one of us. And of course, for me, go to my website, Dijana.org. It's just my name, or any of the social media platforms. And I'm also here to support you with either one-on-one mentoring or some of my online programs that will help you and support you to, or I should say, on this journey of stepping into that purpose for yourself. Okay, on that note, I'm going to play my little closing video, and lots of love to you, and we'll see you next time.